Hello, everyone in podcast land, and welcome to another Sports podcast. I'm Joel Anderson.
I'm Jordan Pomaville.
And joining us, as always, is the sports outsider, Phil Ranta.
And I've got Oscar fever.
Oh, God.
Really?
Yeah.
It's a sports show, Phil.
Yeah, but, Oscars, they have sports movies. The Blind Side, that was nominated a while back.
Yep, Moneyball, actually.
Moneyball
Moneyball
nominated
is,
this year. So I can see how the two intersect.
Moneyball is not only nominated this year, but won or lost at a certain point later.
We should probably admit that we're recording this before
recording
the
this
Oscars.
before the Oscars, yeah.
It's going to be released after the
lifted
Oscars.
up the curtain.
Well,
Yeah.
so that we can't make specifics, Moneyball, I think Jonah Hill's probably going to win some award. Can't be sure.
Is he up for anything?
You know, you're all over Joel for time stamping the intros of the podcast, and then you dive right into the Oscars.
I know, I'm
Yeah.
a jerk.
All right. Well, let's get back to sports.
All right.
Speaking of which, did you watch any, Phil?
No. I was too busy watching Oscar movies.
That's fair, actually.
Yeah,
it's
that is
that
kind of
week.
fair.
I still haven't seen Moneyball.
That's the only one I've seen.
Oh.
I really wanted to see The Artist. I think I'm gonna love Bridesmaids the first time I see it. I just haven't gotten around to it.
Sure, it's a funny film.
Yeah, but
Not a lot of
didn't see any
sports
it.
in that film.
There's not?
No.
Oh, never mind then.
Unless you consider being caddy a sport.
Well, wait. Well, I don't know, but there is a weird sport today. That could
There
be
is.
it.
It might be that. It might be something much better than that.
If it's cat herding, and
I
being
might have to do some
catty will be a
research
sport,
between
yeah.
now and that segment.
All right. First things first here. And,
Okay.
And this won't drag too much. Is Bobby Valentine and the Boston Red Sox have officially banned alcohol from the clubhouse.
Boo. From
Right.
what clubhouse?
The Boston Red Sox clubhouse.
Okay. But
I tell you,
is
you
it Boston
blow-
made of beer?
Yeah,
Isn't
exactly.
the whole city just beer?
Yeah, and beans.
Well,
Beer and beans.
last year they had a collapse down the stretch, and there was a lot of finger pointing and blame pointing.
I tell you,
and
blow
fault
one 9-game
making.
lead in September, and
Yeah. And anyway, and the pitchers someone who said there were accusations that the starting pitching staff was going to the clubhouse before the game was over, pounding brews and eating fried chicken, playing video games.
Okay. What's wrong with that? I don't understand.
Well,
like,
you're
there's
not.
still people.
It's not very teammate
it's not very
oriented.
professional.
Oh, sure.
You should watch your teammates. And here's the thing: is because there's on any given team there's 5 starting pitchers,
Sure.
and only one of them is pitching at any given. The other 4 they're taking it easy.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think throughout baseball there's been a history of guys doing stuff like this, but this apparently was a big thing in the
Let
press.
them have a beer.
Well, here's the
I
thing:
agree,
there's
but-
19 other teams in Major League Baseball have also done this. So
Yeah.
apparently, this is not new. This is not new.
Yeah, but it's still oppressive.
Yeah,
Let them
no,
have a beer.
I don't.
This is
disagree.
America. This is what happens when the socialists take over. They come over and they start being fascist socialists, taking away your right.
Nanny state.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, later we have a news report we're going to play from local Boston radio on what's going on over there.
Oh, all
Okay.
right.
It seems antithetical to baseball to not be able to have beers.
I'm not going to disagree with
Yeah,
that.
what
but,
next? Are they going to take away peanuts and Cracker Jacks?
Thank you, Phil.
I don't want their loss to ever come back.
What? I don't. What?
What?
Yeah, it's
It's a
no,
song.
He's
Oh,
singing
I get it.
yeah. All right. What else do we have, Jordan? Let's.
Well, Lin-sanity hasn't stopped.
No, it has not.
We gone insane up in here.
Lin Sane in the Lin brain, if you will,
Insane in the brain.
or Lin Lane in the.
I don't know where you're going with that one.
Yeah.
We got to. Well, we're all walking on eggshells because
That's
a
true.
lot
Yeah.
of people, and really, really a lot of people, have gotten in trouble for making racially tinged or racist comments.
Right. They would say things. We wouldn't say it, but like we're walking on egg roll shells.
Oh, God.
They would say that.
They
We wouldn't say
we
that.
wouldn't say something.
We
like
would
that.
not say that because
No.
that's racist.
And we're far
Yeah.
more clever
But-
than that.
Right,
fairness-
but if they say something like that, they'd get in trouble.
Oh, absolutely.
Our last episode was fairly racist at points.
I don't know. We didn't say anything as bad as the egg roll shell thing.
No,
or whoever would
yeah,
have said
whoever
that.
came up with that
It'd
was
be awful.
That's really off-putting.
but-
Not good.
Totally.
Because I do have to go ahead and say, and two things have come out. First of all, I mean, the big one is got to be the ESPN mobile headline writer,
Right.
who
right.
has since claimed that it was a total mistake. Did you hear about this, Phil?
No.
After the first time they lost with Jeremy Lin, he put out the headline "Chink in the Armor."
Sure.
Knicks-
That's a. Oh!
Right? Well, here's the thing.
Oh,
he
my
claims he's like,
goodness,
I've
no.
used this headline 100 times because
Yeah.
he's just a headline writer. He has
Yeah.
like there's about there's only so many headlines you can do.
Yeah, and I don't know if I believe him, but I'm totally like I could totally see him making
What
that
I
mistake.
don't believe is that the next person, his supervisor who looks over everything, didn't go, whoa, oh, hey guy,
Yeah.
Seems like
see
somebody
what
said
you're
it.
doing. You know, like I
Yeah,
think
where are
someone,
the checks and balances? If anything, that was racist towards Czechoslovakian people.
There is no Czechoslovakia anymore.
Oh, to Czech Republic people.
Yeah, checks. There's checks.
Right, checks and
Yeah.
balances. Or people with good balance. Gymnasts.
Yeah.
That
All
was
right,
racist
all
towards
right,
them.
all
Yeah.
right. So
Moving
anyway,
on.
do we have an NPR piece?
We do, yeah, because I mean there has been a whole slew of racism. I think part of it's just that people in the NBA maybe. I mean, it's not a whole lot of races in the NBA. It's mostly white guys from here in Europe and black guys.
So we get to hear the exciting angle from NPR.
We do. NPR is a very fun. Hey, Phil, NPR produces interesting and scintillating, thoughtful material.
Has
and then
news
having a
from
piece
Lake
for us.
Woebegone gone Linsane?
Well, I don't even know what that means.
It's from that one show with the Garrison Keillor.
Prairie Home Companion.
Prairie Home
One
Companion.
of the finest, and Phil is gonna. Here's the thing: Linsane is beneath the level of puns that they do on Prairie Home Companion.
Because
They
their
do
puns are great.
But their puns are fantastic.
Sure.
All right.
Can't
So we
wait
have
to
an
hear
NPR
this.
piece.
We have an
All
NPR
right, I'll
piece.
sleep through that
yeah.
one.
and then you'll sleep through that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, there's also we have one more thing, and that is the Big East is a tire fire of a conference right now.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Big Easy.
They have 7 football members.
Okay.
Entering this next season, teams might have to play twice. like you're in rec ball, and we have to. Looks like we play the Panthers again. This time we're home. So they might have to play 2 teams twice.
The old
So are they
football
gonna-
home and home series.
right.
Is it going to become an intramural sport then in the Big East?
It already the level of football being played in the Big East is like the level of intramural
I
football
was
in
going
the
to say, you
SEC.
made the joke. You went A
Yeah.
to B. It was
Oh.
right.
Oh, okay.
You nailed it, actually.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It just,
Yeah.
But so they're actually in talks of getting more members, and they did collect a group more members, but now they're looking for another one, and that's Temple, who had actually kicked out in 2004 for being terrible.
Oh.
Yeah.
The Temple was independent for a while. They've since joined the MAC, and now, knock, 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 it's the Big East.
Oh.
Hey.
Oh, look who came crawling back.
That's right. And so actually later we have a dramatization of their relationship as a relationship between a man and a woman.
I like this already. Hey.
Right? A little sexy.
Yeah, a little bit sexy.
Oh.
Speaking of a little bit sexy, do we have a weird sport this week? You're goddamn right we've got a weird sport this week. It's going to be great. I outdid myself this time.
And we have and there's a whole new backlog of weird sports.
Yeah,
now.
I actually did some weird sports research. We've got like 40 more for the next 40 episodes.
Yes, you refueled the weird sports machine.
I had to stop.
With weird
Like,
fuel.
there was more on the site that I was on, and I just had to be like, nah, I can't keep copying and pasting. My fingers are tired.
Oh God,
Wow.
you do a ton of work for this podcast.
I do. God bless me.
We do very little. Actually, I do less than anyone. In case anyone at home wants to know.
No, I believe it. You're a lazy
Yeah.
hippie.
Yeah.
Lazy hippie.
true.
Well, do you want to get the show started?
Yeah,
Let's do it.
The Big East and Temple's relationship, circa 2004, dramatized as a conversation between a male and a female in a relationship.
Hey, girl. So I know we dated for a long time in this northeast area of America, but I was thinking about it, and as it turns out, you suck, and you're totally bringing me down. Also, everyone that I know are collectively brought down by you.
I can't argue that I suck. That much is true, but you're not so great yourself. Come on, I'll stick around.
No. Sorry. Okay, you suck so much that I might lose my annual invitation to a sweet party that I really don't deserve to be invited to, but that I especially don't deserve to be invited to with you around. Okay, so you gotta go.
The Big East and Temple's new relationship, dramatized between a man and a woman in 2012.
Hey, girl. I want you back.
What? Why do you say that?
Well, it turned out it wasn't just you that sucked. It was everyone, including me. In fact, most of my friends left, starting with the ones that sucked the least. Even some friends that had just become friends left. Now, all of my friends are people I randomly talk to and see if they want to be friends. It's not a very useful strategy. For instance, I made several friends by dialing random phone numbers, but they live as far west as California, a couple in Texas and Florida, some guys in the military, and I even have a friend in Idaho now, which you would think this is my lamest new friend, but he's actually the most kick-ass of my new friends. He just has odd color choices. Anyway, my situation has gotten much worse since I made you leave. You probably want me apologizing and begging and graveling.
Of course. But I made mistakes too. Though I improved and stopped sucking recently, my new group of friends suck more, making me probably appear better than I am. You're actually much more attractive now, even though your friends are lamer and spread out all over the country. Plus, you still got an annual invitation to that awesome party that you don't deserve to go to, right?
Yup. At least for a couple more years.
Hell yes. Let's fuck.
Sure, babe.
Hello, I'm your host, Gladwise Goodwin, and welcome to another Story on the Sports podcast. This week, we explore the phenomenon of Linsanity and how it is affecting the students at Lin's former school, the venerable Harvard University, and other Ivy League schools. It's not at all unusual to see recruiters of all sorts here on campus. Harvard has long been seen as a pipeline for Wall Street hedge funds and top-tier legal firms around the country. But these days, scouts of a different sort have flowed into campus. NBA scouts like Daryl Givens of the New Jersey Nets.
Yeah, we're looking for that next big thing. Jeremy Lin really took a lot of people by surprise, and we came to realize that this has been a blind spot for us. We didn't have a single guy dedicated to scouting the Ivy League, and that's going to change now.
So you've probably spoken with Tommy Amaker then, right?
Who?
Tommy Amaker, the basketball coach here at Harvard. The team was ranked in the top 25 earlier this season.
Oh, right. Yeah. I guess maybe I should give him a call.
While NBA scouts like Givens have flooded the campus, none were present at the basketball team's most recent practices or home games. Players like John Stevenson are confused.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like you play ball at Harvard thinking it'll turn into anything. I was just glad to get a scholarship. I'm gonna be a doctor. But it's a little offensive to see all these guys on campus, and now one of them are coming to see us.
And where are they going?
I mean, they're always waiting outside meetings of the Asian American Association. You can barely get into the offices for the math department without running into somebody. Just nobody here.
I spoke with Chase Lay, the president of the Asian American Association.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to know how to feel. On the one hand, it's really racist. I know I should be offended that these guys seem to think any Asian going to an Ivy League school might be the next Jeremy Lin, but it's also a little flattering. I mean, a lot of us are real nerds. We spent all of high school killing ourselves to maintain the sort of GPA one needs to get accepted into Harvard. I never really got to do sports.
So you're enjoying the attention?
Yeah, I guess I am. I mean, I've got a deal to play in the NBA D-League. May try Europe for a while. That's an opportunity I wouldn't have had now if not for these scouts chasing Lin's success.
Have you ever played competitive basketball before?
Competitive? No.
Have you ever played basketball before?
Is that the one with the oblong ball?
No, that's football.
Then no. I'm really good at fencing, though.
The phenomenon has spread throughout the Ivy League, with class hallways from Brown to Penn choked with NBA scouts. Everyone is eager to find the next big thing. Daryl Givens, though, has a new plan to get himself out ahead of the curve once again.
Scouting is all about finding the players that others haven't considered. That's why I'm trying to think one step further than everyone else.
Yes, I'm Raj Gupta. Mr. Givens has been following me around campus for the last month, ever since he saw me playing a pickup game of 21 with some friends. Keeps saying I could be the next big thing. And do you think he's right? No! Listen, I'm the captain of the tennis team. I don't even know why he thinks I should play basketball. Is he just rifling through ethnicities that aren't common in the NBA? It can't be that, can it?
Yeah, I'm talking to a Samoan guy too. It's gonna be the next big thing.
And that has been the story on the Sports podcast.
And now it's time for another Weird weird sports.
You are doing an excellent job for as sick as you are.
Thank you. I am. I don't know if anyone can notice. My nose is a little stuffy. I've been sick for 4 days.
Tune in for next week's episode when Jordan and Joel are sick.
Right, exactly. Sorry about that, guys.
Yeah.
But
The problem
regardless,
is we don't wash the microphones, before we lick them.
not
Yeah.
not the spit guards. No way. Spit guards are made for spitting.
But I learned how to give head with these microphones.
Okay, let's go on to weird
All right.
sports. All right, this week's weird sport, ferret legging.
Ferret legging.
Yes, ferret like the animal ferret. Ferret legging.
Okay, like the name.
Yeah, how could you not? It's so evocative and provocative.
Well, what does it mean?
Ferret legging, also known as put 'em down and ferret down trousers, is a sport that seems to have been popular amongst coal miners in Yorkshire, England.
I think
God,
you
that's-
buried the lead. I think you start with ferret down trousers.
Right,
Not
yeah.
ferret leggings.
Right. Well, ferret legging is how it's most commonly known.
Oh, okay.
These are just other. It's kind of like aqua push in underwater hockey.
Oh,
that?
right.
Or octopush. I forget
How
which one it is.
boring is England? They have invented so many of these weird sports.
Well, we don't know
No,
how boring
how
this is.
boring is America for having just our common everyday sports instead of stuff like ferret legging?
And we have ferrets everywhere.
Right.
Yeah.
Doing nothing.
Well, here we go. Why don't I go into
Freeloading.
I'm going to skip the history a little bit and go down to the rules. In the sport of ferret legging, competitors tie their trousers at the ankles before placing 2 ferrets inside and securely fastening their belts to prevent the ferrets from escaping.
Oh my God.
Yeah, doesn't it sound like PETA's nightmare?
It does.
It
Like-
sounds like the most likely to get hurt in this entire equation is the person with the ferret in their pants.
Well, that's exactly where the sport comes in, because each competitor then stands in front of the judges for as long as he can.
That's it? It's basically how long can you stand it?
Yeah, it's an endurance contest. It's like something out of Fear Factor.
Oh, I love this.
Like, ferrets are going to bite your penis for a while. Good luck. Like, see how
whoever
long
can
you
put
dig
up with the most bites in their penis.
you also have to realize that the miners are a hardy bunch.
Oh, yeah.
These are miners. These are tough guys. Dirt under their fingernails. Ferret in their trousers.
it. Right. They usually outlive canaries, if TV shows have taught me anything.
Yep.
The canary always dies before the miners do.
Yep.
But let's get a little bit more into it, okay? Here's some rules, okay? Competitors cannot be drunk or drugged, nor can the ferrets be sedated.
This is tough because if I were a miner,
Yeah.
a hardy man I would be. I'd probably, shot it in beer before I go to work.
Oh,
but
sure.
if I'm going to put a ferret in my pants, I'd probably want to get liquored up before.
You better believe
Yeah.
it. But then again, if you're drunk, then pain does not feel like pain.
So
also, let's not forget, I mean, I was so disillusioned after the ferret doping scandal of '88.
Oh, sure. There's a
You
lot
know,
of,
that-
in the Guinness Book World Records, a lot of
a
asterisks.
lot of asterisks, yeah, because it's, God, it's just a shame that something as pure as
who is Guinness
ferret
to make
legging.
that decision to come in and put asterisks on records set by tough miners
Right. Especially
with ferrets? I don't
doped
know.
ferrets, Jordan, doped ferrets.
And
I don't,
frankly-
everyone was doing it. I just think the asterisks are out of place.
and they're a beer company, and they're faulting people for drinking beer before putting ferrets in their pants.
Well, actually, they split their publishing half and spun it off into a different company.
Okay. All right. I guess I'm the goose. Look at the goose. All right. In addition, competitors are not allowed to wear underwear beneath their trousers.
Wow.
Oh, man, I don't know.
Wow.
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know?
I'm not participating in this sport. I'll say that right now.
This went from like really cool to I don't know if I like you said it sounds like Ferris penis biting.
Right. Well, on the other hand, if somebody was allowed to wear underwear, what would stop them from wearing a cup? And then, like, what's the scam?
You're right. It is a slippery slope.
Right.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah, totally.
Not
Underwear is
unlike a
just that-
cup.
Yeah.
Underwear is the first the gateway garment.
Well, also, it's because they must allow the ferrets free access from one leg to the other. So the ferret can crawl up, crawl down. Like, this all needs to be. Like, so the underwear might get in the way.
That's okay. Well, now that I hear that makes total sense.
Sure. Now here's some ferret rules. The ferret must have a full set of teeth that must not have been filed or otherwise blunted.
They've thought of everything.
They have.
These miners are a bunch of cheats.
You don't
and
want people
sneaks.
juicing their ferrets. You know what I
No,
mean?
they
Like
are-
you can alter your ferret to make this very easy.
Oh my god.
Gotta have claws. Gotta have teeth.
It's like when that miner Sammy Sosa ton.
Sure.
His ferret hopped out of his pants that one time, and everyone went, "Holy crap! Look, that ferret's got its teeth have cork on them.
Yep, corked his teeth.
Corked the teeth. It was a corked ferret.
The bites were
and-
painted. The claws had little corks on them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
It's
totally.
a corked ferret, man. And he was a pretty well-respected miner at that time. And then,
Yeah. Well, you've got to notice a corked ferret, though. I blame
Yeah.
the judges.
yeah, well,
You
it's,
can't hide a cork in a ferret.
well,
Ferrets
a
are very
well-corked
little.
ferret is hard to find
Yeah.
if it's been done properly. The only way is if the ferret pops out of your pants.
That's
So
really the
Sure.
only way you can tell.
Yeah.
I guess that's true. Let's talk records, shall we?
Please.
So there's the sport in 1972 is where it really started gaining notoriety. Although it's been disputed, Yorkshire, England is where they think it came from. Of course, the Scots came in and said that it was theirs. So 1972, another English-Scottish war happening because of who decided to put ferrets down their pants for sport first.
is that the one
Naturally.
where they used the long spears to defeat the English heavy cavalry?
I think it's what Braveheart was about. I think that was-
1972, yeah, right,
I
okay.
think that was that one. That's why they all had shaggy hair and they were a little dirty. It was the free love time.
It was
you know?
crazy days.
Yeah,
You
they
know?
had put blue paint on their face and ran at each other.
Yeah, if you remember the 72 war, you weren't there, man.
Right, you weren't there. I have flashbacks of it though. Sometime. 1972, the first ferret legging record stood at 40 seconds.
Wow.
40 seconds. That's a long time.
That is
Yeah.
a very long time to have two. And it's two ferrets, correct? Because it's one in each pant leg.
No, I think it's just one ferret.
Oh,
Right?
okay.
Did I
Wow,
say two
that's
ferrets? I
one
think it was
one ferret's enough for me, Jordo. I'll say that much.
Oh,
Right,
sorry.
right. I will
I'm thinking of
print a
advanced.
retraction later if that I was wrong. A few years later, the record had risen to over 1 minute. Eventually, a couple years later, rose to 90 minutes.
What? No.
Yes,
Is this is when the asterisks come in? I would imagine.
I can
Yeah.
imagine.
That was a dead ferret.
Yes, it had to have been, right? In 1986, though, Meller. So it kept growing, right? There's this
Yeah.
guy named Meller. He was very good at this. Reg Meller. He was continually breaking his own records. Kept surpassing. Eventually, he decided that there was an equivalent to the 4-minute mile in ferret legging.
Well, see, yeah, this is interesting because I'm always fascinated by the athletes who only really compete with themselves.
Sure, and this is this guy. So
So
Meller
is it putting
decided.
a ferret into your pants and then running a mile in 4 minutes?
No, he decided that the magic mark was 6 hours. This is the one that has to be beat, right?
He's like, there's no way anyone can do more than 6 hours. 6 hours is the 4-minute mile.
Right. So
That's
this
it.
is what he decided was his goal in life.
Oh,
To beat 6 hours of a ferret gnawing on your crotch.
and legs.
And legs. I mean, the legs I think anyone could take for. It's the crotch that scares me.
I don't know.
If you have a ferret in your pants for 90 minutes,
No underpants.
Right.
yeah, what's the event at minute 90 that it makes you opt to pull it out at that point? 'Cause
I
it
think
seems like you have it for 6 hours. It seems like it's
Well, I'm not sure, but let me set the scene for you in 1986 here. 1986, Meller said that he was going to pass this record. 2,500 spectators show up. They want to see this, right? So, after 5 hours, most of the attendees had become bored and left.
What? How could you become
Wow.
bored watching a guy with a ferret in his pants?
Right. Workmen arrived to dismantle the stage, despite Meller's protests that he was on his way to the new record. He was still going after 5 hours.
wow.
And they shut him down.
Well, Meller eventually retired after that experience because they stopped his record at 5 hours, and he's like, I could have beat the 6 hour, and people just gave up on me.
To be honest with you, it seems like the ferret at some point is gonna like fall asleep.
I don't know. I feel like
Is
the
this
ferret
still
could
like a-
very possibly stay agitated for 6 straight hours.
Right. I agree, but how disappointing would that be for him to set that magic mark, be well on his way to it, and bam, cut off?
You hate it when the refs take the game out of the player's hands.
Right, but still, he made it 5 hours.
The ferret in his pants.
5 hours of the ferret clawing in his pants. I think might be the greatest athlete of all time.
Certainly points for toughness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, God, yes. I think that he could, name the greatest athlete of all time you think. who you think the greatest athlete of all time
I don't
is?
know. I say Muhammad Ali.
No, not as good as this guy. Next.
Well, Phil makes a compelling argument.
I do.
Yeah.
I'm good at arguing these kind of things.
I got to bring this up real quick. There is a classic Simpsons episode where I can't remember which one it was, but the chief is reading the law book and he's discovering new things. He's like, wow, it says here it's illegal to put squirrels down your pants for the purposes of gambling.
Right.
Then he turns over and he's like, hey, Lou, cut it out. And Lou's got squirrels in his pants and he has to kick them out and then they keep going. But
Yeah, for once it was the Simpsons stealing from something instead of everybody else stealing from the Simpsons,
Yeah.
right? Finally. Just rewards. Well, let me just tell you where the record stands now.
Okay. Well, you mean it's not at 5 hours?
No, 2010, people decided this 5-hour record must be broken. 24 years later, Frank Bartlett, a retired headmaster, and Christine Farnsworth both broke Meller's record.
No, I'm sorry. The women's ferret panting,
I
ferret
agree.
legging would
I
have to
agree.
be
I
separate.
agree with that. I think this Wikipedia is wrong. We'll say Frank Bartlett did it
Yeah.
because the woman won.
No external genitalia, guys.
Yeah.
Push comes to shove, that can't.
Yeah. Unless the ferret really came to shove, then it could have been bad. But Frank Bartlett and then some chick, 5 hours and 30 minutes.
Wow.
Not bad, right?
But still not 6.
But then
Yeah.
did like Mueller bring out like a King of Kong move where he has a videotape of him with the ferret in his pants for 9 hours?
Honestly, I think that this needs to be made. There has not been a television documentary or movie documentary made about this since 1976.
Well, that's because the audio is
I just changed my mind. After seeing that, I want to go to one of these.
Oh.
I want to go. So, where do we wrap up? Do you guys want to participate?
yeah, sure. Yeah,
In making the movie or putting a ferret in our pants?
No, putting a ferret in your pants.
Do you have a ferret here?
No. I'm just saying in general. Do you want to participate?
No, I'm not
I'm
putting a ferret
gonna
in my pants.
I'm gonna say no.
I'm gonna say no too. So that comes to an end. Another episode of Weird Sports.
The Boston Red Sox suffered a horrible collapse down the stretch last season, resulting in finger-pointing and accusations that the pitching staff ducked out of games early to drink beer, eat fried chicken, and play video games in the clubhouse. That will be different this year, as new manager Bobby Valentine has officially announced a ban on alcohol in the clubhouse. The press conference earlier.
Alright, there's no more drinking in our clubhouse. Now I'd be happy to answer annoying, redundant questions from Boston's local press.
Reporters began asking asinine questions almost instantaneously. Fans may be placated, but what do Red Sox players think? Kevin Youkilis, third base.
The clubhouse is a place for injured players who are injured all the time and can't watch the television that they want when they get home because they're starting a family.
But there's another overlooked new policy that has upset many of the Red Sox pitching staff. John Lackey.
He says there's no more outside food allowed in the clubhouse. He says because we got no carpeting. But I can read between the lines. They finally recognize that they grossly overpaid for my arm and they're trying to get me to quit. Josh Becker will back me up, right, Josh?
No off-campus food? That's crossing a line. It'd be different if we had a good food. Chef Gary only has a couple of moves. I make up the classy meals. I even wear the chef's hat. I make the eggplant parmesan, chicken parmesan, veal parmesan, rigatoni parmesan, mozzarella parmesan.
Chef Gary Daniels continued listing authentic Italian dishes, many of which, in this reporter's opinion, were fake and made up entirely on the spot.
I mean, if we're being honest, without the beer and the fast food, I melt that into video games. Then it's like, what am I even doing here?
Former major leaguer and noted alcoholic David Wells weighed in on the matter on the MLB Network.
Ryan Braun fails a drug test and he's not even suspended. But the Red Sox lose the division and can't have chicken and beer? America, is that really you? But I'm guessing Peter Gammons will disagree.
This move allows the new administration to shift the blame of last year's collapse on the past leadership. It's a bit of PR as this team prepares for a tough AL East. Plus, don't any of these dipshits own flasks? It's how I drank while I was being hospitalized with an aneurysm. Maybe this report is best summed up by Chef Gary Daniels.
I often wonder why John Lackey come here anyways. He's a bum. He should eat my goobla gobbla gobbla gobble.
Not a real thing. Harold Hammerson, WKQQ, Boston. All right, folks, that brings us to the end of another sports podcast. But before we go, we'd like to give you our contact information.
Yes, you can hit us up on email at sportspodcast@gmail.com. You can find us on Facebook by searching Sports Podcast. You can find us on Twitter at Sports3 Podcast. And you can find us on iTunes by searching Sports3, all one word, space, podcast. And why don't you rate and review us while you're there?
I'm sorry I made you say all that. You sound so sick.
Do I still sound sick? I was trying to work through it. You know what? Rate and review us because I did this show sick.
Yeah.
I'm not above guilt tripping. I'm fine with this.
Yeah.
And check out our sister show, Curtain Jerks.
Yeah, and check out our other sister shows. Funny Because It's True is up. It's very funny. Top Story Weekly Report is great. The Fort podcast is always good. Second Column, going to their back episodes. I'm even on a couple of them.
Ooh, yeah.
There's a Ranta Rap.
Yeah, there's a Ranta Rap on there, so make sure to check that out.
Don't miss, folks.
All right. Lights off. For more funny stuff for your eyes and ears, go to comedypodcastnetwork.com.